As a financial advisor, I guide people and help them understand when they have enough money that they can retire. But you know, there's a lot more to being ready to retire than just having the money. Let's go for a walk and we'll talk about it. You know, I think probably the most important thing to have a sense of, in addition to money, is your sense of purpose. You know, what does retirement look like for you? What are you looking forward to doing? What are you retiring to? You know, a lot of us, a lot of folks are like, I can't wait to retire. You know, I can't wait to not have to get up and do whatever the job is that you're doing. And that's great. You know, after 30 or 40 years of working, nobody can blame you for feeling that way. But I think it's equally important that you have a sense of what you're retiring to, you know, what you're looking forward to, what's going to give you a sense of purpose. You know, at first, retirement's going to feel like vacation. You know, that first Monday where you don't have to set your alarm, you get to sleep in, you don't have anything on your schedule. That's just going to feel glorious, right? But after months and months of that, you know, it's nice to have things on your schedule. So what is your purpose going to be? What are you excited about doing? You know, how are you going to give back? How are you going to serve other people in a way that's true to yourself and feels good to you? You know, you don't want to go from working for money to working for not money. It shouldn't feel like work. It should feel like a passion. And it sounds funny, but it actually takes work to figure out what your next passion is. So, you know, in addition to all the time and effort and sacrifices we make to save enough money to retire, I think we need to do the same amount of work, put in the same amount of effort, maybe even more, on thinking about what our purpose is going to be in retirement. This tends to be the leg outside of finance that is the most challenging for people. The next few that I'm going to chat about in this video are ones that people will think, yes, that's important, and I've got that covered. You know, I can see, if I don't have it covered now, I can see a path to having that covered. And of course, you know, the next one is relationships. You know, who are you going to spend your time with? Who's important in your life? You know, for those of us that have kids, you know, the easy answer is my adult children. But at least in American culture, you know, do your kids want to spend a lot of time with you? I hope the answer to that is yes, but it's not a given in American culture. You know, our kids go out, it's kind of frowned on from a societal standpoint if the kids come back home. Not in my house. I've always told my kids I'd love to have them back home. During COVID, when the kids came back home, that was a positive thing. But in general, you know, we even have a term for it. It's called failure to launch. So, you know, who are you going to spend your time with? And you know, how do we make sure we don't overspend our welcome? Because especially, you know, a lot of viewers in my channel are thinking about retiring early. And so if you're going to retire early, you know, right now your schedule is probably like a lot of your friends' schedules, where, you know, during the week, you don't have a lot of time to go out and do things, which is similar to what your friend's situation is. So who are those people that you're going to spend time with that have time to spend time with you? Okay, enough said on that. Let's go on to the next one. The next one that's super, super important. I mean, it's a lot of the fun is going to be taken out of retirement if you don't have this one figured out. And before I go there, just very quickly, if you're enjoying this video, if you enjoy my videos, the number one thing you can do to help my channel is to just watch another video of mine after this. The second best thing you can do is like and or comment. It helps the algorithm say, hey, you know, this is a video that we should share with other people. It can help other people. Okay, let's keep going. The one that is kind of game over as far as enjoyment, or really throttles back enjoyment, is just making sure that you're doing everything you can to stay healthy. It's important that we move. It's important that we stay active. You know, the ideal thing is there's a hobby, there's an activity that gives you joy, that you enjoy doing. It doesn't feel like, you know, you're going to the gym and doing something that you don't like. For me, in the summer, that is mountain biking. In the winter, that is skiing. I love being in the mountains. It's part of what makes Azul, Azul. But we all need to have something that we enjoy. I have a friend, he was actually the best man in my wedding. And on the weekend, he likes to walk 10 miles. I mean, that's a lot of time walking. But you know, he listens to books on tape, or I guess Audible is better said that way. So he listens to books while he walks. He calls up his friends. That's usually when I get a call and an update on what's going on in his life. Is during one of his 10-mile walks. But we're all different, but doing what we can to stay proactive about our health is super important. The next one is just being prepared for retirement. You know, it's one thing to have the finances in place, but really, you know, thinking through who are you outside of work and being prepared emotionally for when we go to a party. Another thing about American culture is one of our favorite questions is when you meet somebody new, what do we ask? What do you do for a living, right? And so think about how you answer that. And I think an interesting way to answer that is, and I've helped other people think through this, is what I enjoy doing is whatever that is, mountain biking, skiing, whatever your passion is. So there's an easy answer to that. But so much of our identity is tied up in our work, and really thinking through who am I outside of work, outside of being a parent, and doing that reflective work before you get to retirement. Because, you know, unfortunately, like a third of the people when they retire, they go through these different stages of retirement, and one of those stages is depression. You know, at first it's delight, you're loving the new life. Then it's kind of, you're wondering, okay, how am I going to spend all this time? You have a lot of time in retirement. And in some people that can trigger depression, and I don't want that to happen to you. So, you know, do some of this reflective work ahead of time so that you can transition as successfully into retirement as you can. And then I think it's also super important to stay young. I like to hang out with young people. Fortunately, young people still like to hang out with me, but as my kids get older, it's probably going to be harder to do that. Also, when I was traveling and working remotely, that tends to be something that younger people do, the digital nomad movement. But I think anything we do where we can stay and be around young people, whether, you know, if you're active in your church, and you want to help out there is somehow at the church, being around young people. But do what you can to stay young, and also do what you can to watch these next two videos. The first one is talks about average income in retirement, and the second one talks about 5 reasons to retire as soon as you can. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.